Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and this is the Jakks Pacific 4-inch modern Dr. Eggman. Recently, I started collecting the 4-inch Jakks figures, so I have a whole lot to catch up on. And my buddy Eric helped me get this guy, so shout out to my buddy Eric. So we're gonna unbox it, we're gonna compare it to a couple other figures, and then towards the end, I'm gonna show you what other figures I have that I'm gonna be doing unboxing videos on eventually, because I recently got even more, and I'm very excited to show those off. As of right now, I don't have the classic Eggman just yet, but I'm really excited to expand my collection. Right now, primarily, I'm going after modern characters, but it'd be also nice to get a couple of classic characters in the line. So looking at the cover right here, we got Modern Sonic right here, the Modern Sonic logo, Dr. Eggman, the character himself, and his little accessory. And then on the back, it shows what all comes in this wave, so we also have Rouge, Supersonic, Shadow, and Dr. Eggman. I do want to get this version of Supersonic specifically because that's the only way to get this Chaos Emerald, and that's probably going to be the only Chaos Emerald I'm going to be missing after I get all the other figures I plan on getting here pretty soon. I don't have Rouge yet, so I really want Rouge. However, one of my friends found it in the wild once, and at the time I wasn't collecting them, so I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But now I'm sad. I already have Shadow. I have a different version of Supersonic. So at least we have most of this wave, I guess. So then it shows off the different articulation. You can move his head, which I think this is probably going to be the first Eggman figure that you're able to actually move his head. You can move his arms, you can move his legs. 13 points of articulation, and his bio says, an evil genius with an IQ of 300, Dr. Eggman has been battling Sonic for world domination for some time. I love how it doesn't mention the fact that he's also a feminist. I can't remember if that was in the Sonic Heroes manual or the Shadow 05 manual. I can't remember which one. I know it was one of the two. But it'd be really funny to see that on a bio for a figure like this. But now that we're done looking at it, let's open them up. I know some collectors hate the idea of opening these figures. Thankfully, there's no twist ties or anything like that, blocking him down, so we can just open them. There's a little checkpoint right here. We'll check that out later. I like picking out the legs first, and then we can do the arms. And there we go. Easy as that. Then the rest of this is trash, so we just get rid of that. I don't know what's up with Eggman. He got a little bit of grease pits on his belly. But now I just gotta rearrange him a little bit, I guess. And I guess here's a closer look at Eggman. I think it's really funny how you can see his mouth. And depending on the angle, it looks like he's mid-sentence, like he's talking. But that's mainly because his mustache pegs into his mouth. The paint job on the nose isn't perfect. I wish it could have gotten the whole nose to be red, because you can see a good amount of tan being there. So I don't know how they goofed that up. But I do like the reflective nature of his little shades, because we've never seen that on other Eggman figures in the past. And I love how with the goggles on his head, it does show off a little bit of the green on top. So we have two different hands set up for him. So we have an open hand, and then we also have a fist. And on the glove itself, it shows a little oval on his glove himself. But I feel like if you didn't know that was already supposed to be there, you would probably miss it because it's not very defined. I know with some figures they do little indents, or sometimes to have a little outline going around it in general. But nah, the detail is technically there, but you really gotta look for it. But I love how well this does capture the modern Eggman now. This is what Dr. Eggman looks like now. And being able to have his head move is silly, but I don't feel like it's too necessary. I mean, I'm happy it's there. And this is probably the most articulated Eggman that we've ever had before. We never had ankle movement on an Eggman figure. We never had head movement. We never had bicep swivels. This is a first, and it's kind of nice. I wish they would have painted his wrists kind of pale going down, just so it could have that attention to detail. But to be fair, this is also a $10 figure, so I don't think they cared that much about it. But now that we have this version of Eggman, and Jakks is acknowledging the Shadow generations because of the collector's figure, I really hope that we can get a Gerald Robotnik in the future, especially in a rendition from that game, or even a Maria figure, because we got brand new models for both of them. And I love how his little gold buckle things right here have been molded as well. This figure turned out really good. I feel like this figure would scale really well with the 2.5-inch figures, but outside of that, I'm not entirely sure. Because if I compare him to a modern Sonic right next to him, I'm not sure if that scaling is actually correct. I feel like the closest time that we had modern models of Eggman and Sonic next to each other was in like Sonic Lost World. And I feel like Sonic is supposed to be shorter. And I said how the 2.5 inch will probably scale better. I feel like that's definitely incorrect. I feel like they'd come across way too short. I'm not sure if this 4-inch scale is good for each other. Like, he's definitely a taller figure in comparison. But I feel like having a taller Eggman would be a little bit cooler. We've had multiple Eggman figures over the years, and I feel like this is the most detailed one. Because the first one that I ever had was actually the Toy Island one. And for a while, this was the only Eggman figure that you could get. He's a very hollow figure, but I love the detail on this guy. It's so good. But even with this guy, like, you see how like the ovals are really outlined. Even the little oval like in his boot is also detailed. You can see it kind of there, but like this is like adventure era for Eggman, so it was definitely a different time. Personally, this will always be my favorite figure, as goofy as it looks. But the next Eggman figure that I got afterwards, and I don't remember if there's any other ones outside of that, is the Jazwares one from the 3-inch line. And this one definitely came with more articulation. Like, we got elbow movement, we got knee movement, you can move the legs any way you want to for the most part. And for a while, we were pretty happy with this guy. However, now that we have a higher standard with Jakks Pacific, you can see the reflective nature in the glasses, you can see how more like prominent the eyebrows are in comparison to this guy. You can see the better attention to detail with the goggles. You can actually see his mouth too. Like, it's definitely a much better figure now. And I love how more ginger the mustache is in comparison to this being just brown. I'm so used to having a brown mustache Eggman, but I feel like nowadays the ginger definitely comes across better. Mainly because it matches my beard. And I'm also bald.
I'm sure it's not that noticeable. Bald!
All right.
Am I becoming Eggman? Well, I am gaining weight. I guess I'll be Eggman. Alright, guys. Question for you. Let's pretend I no longer had the Crash Bandicoot hat. Would you be okay with a bald KGR reviewing action figures? Because, I don't know, I feel like the hat is mostly the look because the Crash Bandicoot hat is so iconic. And also ironic because I talk about Sonic of all things, for the most part. But we're not here to just talk about Eggman. He also did come with a little accessory, and that is his little checkpoint right here. Now, when it comes to checkpoints, it is also spring-loaded, so when I first discovered this with the other one right here, I thought that was really neat. And I love the fact that we have two different colors now, so we can see that one has been actually used, like one has been passed. They don't look as good as the Nendoroid checkpoints, but to be fair, the Nendoroid is a $50 figure at like the minimum, while this is part of a $10 figure, so it's not too fair to compare those two to each other, but at least they have a spring-loaded mechanism, the other ones don't. So, personally, I find these little accessories so cute and neat, so I'm happy to have them. However, it would be nice to see other figures in the toy line eventually. Like, it'd be nice to have a properly scaled Orbot and Cubot to go alongside the 4-inch Eggman. I have the ones from Tomy, and I'm very happy with those, but it would be nice to get something that's more updated. And I'm excited to eventually get a classic Eggman, but I would love to really see a Gerald in the future. And honestly, a Gerald or even a Maria might not be too far in the future. I could see it happening. Maybe within the next year? We'll see. The only other modern Eggman I have is the one with the Death Egg playset. So it's a little tiny one, and his little mobile. I don't feel like digging that out, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I guess that sums up the unboxing for the most part. Like, that's Eggman. Standing next to Sonic, he looks not too tall, and I feel like Eggman should be taller, and I wish Sonic could stand up. Now we just gotta make sure he doesn't fall. However, I do plan on unboxing a lot more Jakks Pacific Sonic figures in the future, so let me show you the most recent ones I've gotten that I'm very excited for. So I follow a Facebook group that kind of trades and resells the Jakks Pacific figures. So one guy, I was supposed to buy 7 figures from him, but he only sent over 5, so I got a partial refund, so that's good. But anyway, so we got a Metal Sonic 3.0, but before I get this, I kind of want to get the regular Metal Sonic, and if I can, get a Neo Metal Sonic, but that's been impossible, almost as impossible as Sonic standing up on my desk. But then we also got a Jakks, and I'm really happy for this guy. We got a Cream. This is probably my first Cream figure I've ever had, and I'm very, very excited because every other one was stupid expensive for a while, and now I have it. And to be completely honest, the fact that this Cream figure looks so good was actually a heavy option on like why I started collecting the 4-inch figures. Like I love how these figures look. And then when it comes to the classic line, we also got a classic Amy as well as a heavy King. When it comes to the classic figures, these guys are a huge priority for me, but it would be nice to get some of the main characters. With classic characters, it's like if I see it, I'll grab it. But right now, the priority is over the modern figures. But right now, for classic, I do want to get a Sonic, because I don't have Sonic yet. I don't have Tails. A Fang and a Bean would be nice since I already have Mighty. And of course, you gotta get Eggman for that, or Robotnik, if you want to call him that instead. Point is, I do want to get some of the other characters, but getting some of the robots, for example, like Heavy King, they'd be neat. I already have the Egg Robo, so I know there's like other Sonic Mania robots that go along with it, so if I see them, cool. If not, it's not the end of the world. But I do have a friend, I believe he lives in the UK, he's hooking me up with a bunch of figures soon, so when he hooks me up with those, like, he's gonna get some massive shout outs during the videos I unbox those, because that's gonna be really wild. I've had some personal friends, I had some viewers, I had a bunch of other people like help me trying to collect these figures and get caught up. So I'm really, really thankful for the community that has been helping me, whether it be these Facebook groups or people that know me. Like, thank you so much. You guys have been so awesome with helping me get these. I'm paying a little bit of a premium. Like, I think on average, I'm probably spending no more than 25 bucks a figure. But this has been really awesome. I love this. Thank you so much. And that pretty much covers it for this video. So if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's going to be my social media. And we'll see how collecting these figures go. Because this is... It's a little bit intimidating, but I love it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you guys to death. And I'll see you on the next one. So peace, peace.